they had to go after him.
Did he get bigger and bigger and bigger as he rolled down the hill?
He eventually, he started like
gathering up trees and bears
pets and all sorts.
Yeah.
In the world of conspiracies, the supernatural, and the downright spooky, there are only two men who you can trust: Denis Lynn and Roger O'Sullivan, or as they prefer to be called, the Unexplained Legends. From the 1950s until the 1970s, the American government ran a secret military program designed to control people's minds and alter their perceptions. Impossible, surely. Or was it? This week on Unexplained Legends, Project MK Ultra.
Welcome, listeners, to this week's episode of The Unexplained Legends. I'm Roger O'Sullivan, and with me, as always, is...
Denis, now 2 AirPods, Len.
And together we are The Unexplained Legends.
Yes, we are.
Do you want to update the listeners on what happened to your AirPod?
Good news. I found my AirPod in the back of my pocket.
Oh.
And I was really, really happy with it until I realised that pants or trousers went through the wash.
Oh.
So now one of them's a little bit crackly. Can I tell you something? One thing I cannot get used to living in the UK, I can't do it, is referring to pants as trousers.
Really?
I just feel strange when I say trousers.
Really?
When I say trousers, I feel like I'm going to be accused of touching myself.
Oh, by just saying trousers?
Trousers, it just sounds wriggly or something. Like, what do you say? Do you say I'm going to put on my pants or my trousers?
I say jeans.
Are you mostly jeans? Are you wearing jeans now?
Yeah, I'm wearing jeans.
Always
now.
jeans?
Almost always. Because of this.
Because you don't want to get involved in it?
Yeah. So now jeans, that's a simple one for you. Here's another one for you. Sweatpants.
No way, I'm never saying sweatpants.
Sweatpants. I'm wearing my sweatpants now. And
what? They used to call them fat man pants
fat
before
man
as well.
Pants. Yeah. But you're a man. That's gone. Can't say that anymore.
That's fair enough, like.
Yeah.
But no,
it's fat person pants now.
I have to say, right, I'm just going to put it out there to the listeners, right? I'm going to put it out there to the listeners. I'm grappling for subjects, and and nothing's coming in. There's nothing landing for me.
The listener, the crown is still here.
The crown is still there. It's been used as...
It's been used so that Denis can prop up his phone.
I'll tell you something, right? Got a bad shock during the week, right? That's my King Gong crown, in case anyone wants to know what we're talking about, which I supposedly was not meant to take, but we don't really know that for sure. Yeah. I will say, I got an ad on Amazon the other day. 2 of those crowns for a hefty price. Hefty price. But that exact crown.
How much?
There's no need to tell you how much it is. It was a lot, no. It was a lot. You wouldn't be... It was £11. You wouldn't... for 2 of them.
I'm telling you, I wouldn't be paying that. Oh, actually, do you know what I want to do now? I want to just start buying them for people that don't even do comedy. Just give one to your...
Don't you dare dilute the crowns. Don't you dare dilute the crowns. Don't you dare.
Give them to the man down the shop.
No way. We don't even know a man down the shop. So yeah, we're doing a bit of house hunting at the moment.
I can't even get into that.
All right, okay.
No, wait. I get what you're doing, but I'm gonna fucking... I'm so fucking
This will just be a good game of me trying to pick a subject.
Sorry.
So, no, I think it's funny. I'm just having a look around the kitchen now.
Shit.
Dishwasher's gone.
Oh yeah, dishwasher's
still
broken.
gone.
Dishwasher's broken.
I've got mold in my room.
Got a fucking message in about our council tax. Hey lads, pay all your council tax for next year. Can't really do that for reasons that are going to become obvious.
Yeah.
What else is there?
What else do you got to look forward to?
Oh, what else have I got to look forward to? Let me just check. Nothing.
Oh,
I bought a load of tickets for the donkey lottery.
Did you? Oh, how's that going? Can you explain that to people who don't know what it is, which is everyone bar you?
Okay, the donkey lottery. There's something called the Donkey Sanctuary. Mm-hmm. I'm a big supporter of them. I have been.
Is that a bit of a cult?
What do you mean? Why?
Well, I remember that my sister used to constantly get letters from the Donkey Sanctuary in the door.
Yeah.
And was unable to stop the subscription. And then it just kept on coming. Like, there's donkeys like coming up to the door looking for money, looking for payment. It's like, are you just like you're not trying to hawk this on us, like?
No, I'm not. I'm not listening. Each
you're not represented by the Donkey Lottery or Sanctuary in any way.
No, I am not. I am not a representative of the Donkey Lottery or the Donkey Sanctuary. I just happen to be
Illuminati.
Yeah, or I just happen to be a big fan of the Illuminati and the Donkey Sanctuary. And I used to have a pet donkey as a kid.
How's that donkey doing?
That donkey's dead now, Denis.
Okay,
but he was with me for
probably should have sent him to the sanctuary.
Oh my god, it was with me, Jenny, lovely Lovely donkey, Ginny.
Yeah.
She was with me for probably 15 years of my life, I'd say, maybe. Beautiful, lovely donkey. They're such intelligent, such caring animals. So I've given back, and I give money to the donkey sanctuary.
How many donkeys are they packing out there?
Oh, they must have 30.
30.
30 donkeys. And the work the donkeys do, really, it moves you.
Is it hard for donkeys to get in there? Like, must they do like an entrance exam or?
Yeah, it's pretty elitist. It's only top tier donkeys that they let in now.
Yeah.
If you were talking about some scruffy ass, he's not getting in.
Scruffy ass.
He's not getting in. But they've recently launched a new thing called the Donkey Lottery. It's a fun way to donate to the Donkey Sanctuary while also, getting a bit of a flutter in.
Okay. And what's the prize?
So the prize, there's 3 prizes every week, I think.
What? Every week?
Or maybe it's every 2 weeks, yeah.
They can't sustain that.
£500, £200, £100.
Wait a second, sorry. This is I just genuinely not a silly question. Yeah. Is the Donkey Sanctuary just based in Ireland?
No, this is
this is a global thing.
Who's
controlling it?
I wouldn't say that, but I don't know. But it's in Ireland and it's in the UK.
Sounds like a pretty large organisation.
Well, they do a lot of work.
Do you think they're have people in government and stuff?
They have lobbying groups. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Well, no. I just mean they sound like a powerful group. Just sounds like something we might cover in a later episode. Now they've got a lottery going. They've got a ton of money. No, 3 prizes every week.
They don't have a ton of money.
Doesn't add up.
They don't have a ton of money. They could do it more money. If you like them, donate to them. I love the Donkey Sanctuary.
Could you imagine donating a couple of bob to the Donkey Sanctuary and then you see them launch the Donkey Lottery and they're giving away 3 prizes every week?
I think, I'll be honest with you, it did play on my mind. It did play on my mind.
Maybe give it to the donkeys, lads.
But I decided. What
about fucking Shaggy Arse or whatever you're talking about?
They scruffy ass.
Yeah.
I decided that I'd put money into the Donkey Lottery. So I bought 30 weeks worth of tickets.
Yeah.
Which I think...
What? Sorry, no. What?
30 weeks worth of
30
tickets.
weeks? I'm going to do the lotto for 30 weeks
30 weeks.
at once.
Yeah. Because I think it was £1 a ticket.
Okay.
So I saw every week.
So roughly £30.
Yeah. So every week, I'm saying to myself, please be to God, let me win the Donkey Lottery. That's what I say to myself week in, week out.
Have you worked out your potential earnings of winning every single time?
Yeah, I did, yeah. No, you can't win twice in a row.
Why? So, but you technically can, but you will be disqualified from winning, is it?
Yeah, you won't be allowed.
Do you think they'll tell you if you won or not?
Well, they should do.
Yes.
I haven't been keeping up on it. Because I was thinking this is what was happening. Is I was playing the normal lottery, and I was thinking loads of people play this. I've no
chumps.
Chance. Yeah, chumps. But no one plays the Donkey Lottery.
Yeah.
So why
it's only one number is all you have to pick.
Yeah. So why wouldn't I put a flutter on the old Donkey Lottery?
They're going to get really caught out with that.
Now, as it happens, I really could have done with that £30 now.
Yeah.
It was misspent. I was expecting good ROI.
Do you think we can set up the Roger Sanctuary and donkeys can give back to you?
I'd love that.
How much money do you think you've given the Donkey Sanctuary over the years?
Over the years, £30.
Wow, that's impressive. All right, what are we doing this week?
This week, Dennis, we're doing something a bit different.
Oh yeah,
I would say, yeah.
Okay, so not aliens.
No.
Not ghosts.
No.
Nothing Irish related.
No.
Wow. Okay.
You didn't expect it to be different.
I did not expect it to be different, which is more telling of you than me. In fairness, what else is there? What creature?
No.
Cryptocurrency?
No.
Government conspiracy?
Here, yeah, bingo.
Yes?
That's it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
We're doing a good old classic government conspiracy.
Do you know what I want to say to you, right? Is
what?
After I said that,
yeah,
I then realised you told me earlier.
Oh, yeah,
so
yeah.
you thought like, wow, that a Shakespeare or a Shakespeare actor is standing in front of me.
I'll be honest with you. I thought, oh, great, he's forgotten it again.
Come on. But it was true though.
Typical.
All right, what are we doing
this week, Dennis? We're doing one called MK Ultra.
Okay, I'll be honest. I don't know what that is.
Okay, MK Ultra. We'll obviously get into.
It sounds like one of the big ones though.
It's US.
What was the one that we did before that was a puzzle that people had to solve?
The Cicada 3301. Yeah.
Okay. People check that episode out. It just popped into my head. I don't know why I connect these for some reason. It's just word association.
Yeah,
Ignore
yeah.
it, but I thought it was important. So this one is about government conspiracies. Is it like a world order kind of thing?
No, it's a little bit spy. It's a little bit mind control-y. And it's a little bit Nazi.
Oh, a little bit Nazi.
A little bit Nazi.
Okay.
So will we crack on with the lamestream narrative? In 1973, in the wake of a Watergate-induced panic, CIA Director Richard Helms ordered for tens of thousands of documents to be gathered and destroyed. What did these documents pertain to exactly? A 2-decade campaign of illegal human experimentation being carried out on civilians and military personnel by the American government, known as Project MK Ultra.
You see, this is the problem with doing this podcast sometimes, is I'm approaching this in the same way as the Brazilian alien, Moutinho or something, or Modinho or whatever his name.
Yeah.
You know, like, what you've just read out there, I don't know if that's a conspiracy theory or is that actually just the truth.
That's I'm spitting straight facts.
Straight facts.
Yeah.
MC Sullivan, straight facts.
Yeah.
So how do like, because maybe you can give me tips on how to do it. So like, what are you expecting me to come at you with here? Like, you know, because if that's what they did,
well, yeah,
I mean, there you go, open and shut case.
That's
surely.
what they did.
Yeah,
maybe something like "Well done, good research."
Well done, good research.
Yeah.
Gold star on the fridge. Here we go.
Good research, well written.
So 10,000 documents were destroyed.
Tens of thousands of documents.
Tens of thousands.
Yeah.
Right. So upwards of 30,000. Right.
We're more than that.
40,000 were deleted or shredded. Right. I assume back in 1970s. This was induced by the Watergate scandal, but not. It didn't involve any of the documents from there, right? Like
no.
This was oh crap, we can't let them find any stuff after all the shit that's been caused of breaking into the Watergate building.
That's exactly it. Watergate kicked off, and Richard Helms, director of the CIA, said, "Oh, what other stuff have we been doing that's not good? Oh yeah, the secret experimentation on Americans. We'll get rid of this.
Top of the list.
Yeah. Let's delete
And
those.
also rifling in the petty cash drawer for lunches.
Yeah. In fact, actually, many people think that this was a smokescreen for him to get away with the petty cash that he used to use.
It'd be the biggest smokescreen in the world.
So, according to investigative journalist Stephen Kinzer, the project began to take form immediately after World War II and has its origins in the repatriated Nazi scientists, which the American government helped smuggle into the United States during Operation Paperclip. Director of the CIA at the time, Alan Dulles, this is at the start of the project. The Richard Helms is at the end of the project, but they were both directors of the CIA. Director of the CIA, Alan Dulles, who is famous for setting up loads of conspiracies within America, allegedly. He was supposedly fearful of the USSR's, and this is in direct quotation marks, Soviet brain perversion techniques, and so was more than happy to empower these sick individuals to continue their work.
So, just one thing there. It's called Operation Paperclip. That's bringing the Nazis over to America, is it?
Yeah.
And I think we can all agree that the biggest Nazi that they brought over to America was the Windows paperclip.
Yeah.
Who caused untold damage to people.
Well, I don't know if you know this, but his family did come over during that time.
What was his real name again? Was it Paperclip von Braun or something?
It was it not Paper von Clip?
Oh, sorry, yeah, that's what it was. I guess I would just appreciate in this episode, I think, if you would tell me where like the mainstream kind of differentiates from let's say the kind of the more crackpot theories, if I could kind of say that.
Okay.
Do you know, like as in, give us like the solid info as to where the face you just gave me there.
I was like, what? Crackpot? Hello?
Crackpot, like
what is
an endearing term.
Okay.
But so like basically right now, right? Operation Paperclip did exist, right? Did happen.
Yes.
They did bring the Germans over there. That's how we got to the moon, right?
Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's
right.
true, yeah.
Yeah,
pretty much.
so we got to the moon, definitely.
Well, no. You see, that's That's why I was holding back.
No, I mean, that sounded like confirmation.
No, that's why I was holding back.
That sounded like a little bit of confirmation.
I'll tell you this much. They had something to do with what we perceive as getting to the moon.
Okay, great.
Okay?
So anyway, in the lamestream part of it, they bring over like Von Braun and he builds rockets and all that crack, right? So all that stuff did happen. And then, and this is like one of the worst, darkest parts of history. What's the guy's name? Dr. Mengele? Is that his name?
Joseph Mengele, yeah.
So like he was doing human experiments in like Birkenau and all these places.
Yeah.
Is this true that the Americans actually took over those bad bastard scientists over to America?
That is true, yeah. I think in particular, I didn't want to get too into this in the notes because I thought it might end up souring the episode.
Yeah.
But we've talked about a Nazi paperclip, so I think we're in now. But they used to try to administer, I think, mescaline, and see what that would have on the perception of inmates.
Wow.
So yeah, it pretty much is like there's a direct line to be drawn between trying to kick this stuff up.
And I think Ireland were pretty involved as well in like channeling out a lot of Nazis, weren't they? We had Hitler's commando was living up in Offaly for a bit. He actually later went on to work with the Mossad.
Really?
Yeah, and he took out the Egyptian, I think it was the Egyptian nuclear program with their help.
We've done a lot for such a small country, haven't we?
Yeah, you know. All right. Okay, so yeah, so basically my point was there is that's kind of all the facts.
Yeah.
Right, and then, you know, is there anything you've put in there now that would be contested by some people who, you know?
No.
Okay, so we're good so far.
I think the most contested that you would get is, I think you would, the most contested you'd get is that some people, I think, wrongly debate the Nazi scientist thing.
Okay.
As in, they're like, oh, well, they were just bringing over these scientists.
Ah, right, okay, yeah,
You know.
great. So the complete wrong side of it.
Yeah.
yeah, I get that.
So I think that's what you'd that's the most contentious thing that's been said so far. So the main aim of the project was to create some form of effective means of mind control, as the US government believed that the Soviet Union possessed similar techniques, like I mentioned, and they would use them on POWs. There was also hopes that the US government could find some kind of truth serum in order to aid with the detection and interrogation of spies. Thus, under the guidance of one Sidney Gottlieb, MKUltra was launched.
Yeah, so they do have some sort of truth serums now and stuff, or they definitely did at some point, didn't they?
So the most famous one is sodium pentothal is what people talk about. But the problem with that, I believe, is that actually just makes you very suggestible.
Yeah.
So the idea behind that is it puts you in a suggestible enough state that you should be able to be convinced that you, in theory, can be convinced to give up information you don't want to give to people. But the other side of that is that some people argue that actually what you're doing is just persuading the person to go along with the
and
story.
give you like a fake confession.
Yeah.
The same thing kind of happened with like the Russians as well and the Germans after the war. Is like that they would keep, I think, prisoners up for like 40 hours or something. It was past a certain number of hours. I think it was 40 something.
Yeah.
And at that point then, they wouldn't be able to repeat their learned off stories and they'd be delirious and whatever. But basically what was just happening was they were just saying anything because they were just completely out of their minds.
Just to get out of it.
Yeah. Like not even that, like, as in they didn't even know what they were saying. So you could get them like that to say anything.
I've often experienced that type of thing, but at the very end of a house party.
Oh dear God! Don't talk to me at the end of a house
where
party.
people are just talking enormous amounts of shite.
Yeah, but I probably took it in a different way than you. But like, if you talk to me at the end of a house party, not only would I be the worst philosopher that's ever lived.
Oh, good God!
I would also probably start telling you stuff from my childhood that I've never told anyone before. That is of no consequence to anyone, and is probably embellished horribly. And then wake up in the morning and want to put a grenade in my mouth and pull the pin out.
And do you know what? That would be a right impulse.
It would be, yeah.
It would be correct. The project listed the following types of substances as being within its investigative remit. Okay, there's 17 of these. So I'll kind of flake through them because otherwise...
Do you think you could read them like they do on those American ads where they have warnings at the end of it?
Not a fucking hope. Not even a chance. But some of these, stop me at any point if you find any of these interesting.
Okay.
Substances which will promote illogical thinking and impulsiveness to the point where the recipient would be discredited in public. That's an interesting one.
So they give this stuff to people, so then they do silly stuff, is it?
So that they'd seem crazy.
Do you know, no joke, I was watching, was it Emmerdale or something? Or was it EastEnders? It was one of those programs, right? They basically did this storyline.
The storyline. This is real.
Sorry, this real. They did this real line, right?
Yeah.
This guy who was, I think he'd killed like 2 or 3 people in the soap at this point, right? He was putting what was pretty much like LSD in this manager's cup, and like she was going crazy. So then everyone thought she was crazy. But then it backfired on him, and obviously he drank the wrong cup when he was meant to give an important speech, and then everyone thought he was nuts.
Oh, that's the worst. That's the one thing you don't want to happen.
All I'm saying is, if the Emmerdale writers can think of this stuff,
then you're saying
if
the
you
US
got enough
government
money,
can
you got
pull
enough
it
money
off.
behind you,
Yeah,
you can pull it off.
You should think about this next time somebody does something crazy in public. I actually think there's been a few nights out that you and me have been on. And I think that they've done this to us.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't us talking shit. It was we were poisoned.
I think they've done this to us at some gigs.
Yeah, no, they definitely definitely felt it at gigs.
So number 2, substances which increase the efficiency of mentation and perception.
What's mentation?
I don't know. I'm just going to double check that I haven't copy and pasted that wrong.
Mentation. I suppose mentation is something to do with the mental side of things. Concentration?
You could be onto something. I'm just going to give it a little bit of a Google now. Mentation, the highest mental activity. That's
okay,
it.
fair enough.
Yeah, and then the example sentence is the highest levels of human mentation, which we are not achieving today. I don't think. Yeah, so
we're like today. In that movie Limitless.
Yeah,
where he takes that drug.
We're the hangover day.
Yeah, we're
limited. Limited. That's true. So number three, materials which will prevent or counteract the intoxicating effects of alcohol. Number 4.
Wait, why would you need that then?
I guess you could give it to your agents so that they couldn't be.
Very good.
So they.
Okay, so not all of these things are like developed for a negative consequence.
Yeah, they're like a lot of it is for spycraft and stuff.
Nice.
It's generally just trying to fill out an arsenal of
spycraft is honestly one of the fucking coolest phrases in the world as well.
Oh yeah, definitely,
So cool.
definitely. Number 4, materials which will promote the intoxicating effects of alcohol. So you think I'm saddling up to you in a bar, I'm a spy, you're like some kind of high-ranking foreign diplomat.
Yeah, you're like a femme fatale.
Yeah, and I'm giving you the version. I've bought 2 drinks. Mine has a little tablet in it so that I don't feel the effects of alcohol, and yours has it so that you become a lightweight. And then after you've had a few drinks, I'm still stone cold sober, and I'm saying, "Oh, you don't happen to have any nuclear launch codes, do you?" Or I'd probably go, "Don't nuclear launch codes have the funniest code."
Wait until you see the ones I have.
Yeah.
Do you think then that if a person is found, let's say, dead or whatever, and they've ingested this thing, that their alcohol levels would be higher, or would it disappear and it just represent that one drink that they had?
Oh, that's a good question.
I wonder, is it engineered that way? Like, I'm sure there'd be advantages and disadvantages having both. Like, as in, if it would show their alcohol levels being through the roof, obviously, then you could say, oh, they were drink driving or whatever, even though they only had one drink.
Like in the Diana case.
Allegedly.
Allegedly,
yes.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. No, I think you could be onto something there. Next one is materials which produce the signs and symptoms of recognized diseases in a reversible way so that they can be used for malingering, is what it says here.
What is that power it has?
I could give something to you so that it looks like, let's say, you are ill.
Okay.
It might look like you have, let's say, radiation sickness, but you don't really have it.
I just have the symptoms of it. So
Yeah.
I'm like sweating and red and stuff.
So we could use, I don't know what they're using it for, but let's say my example is I use that, and then I present you as evidence that you've been part of a covert nuclear attack by a foreign nation.
Okay, yeah, that sounds very specific though, Raj. Just letting you know.
What do you mean?
It's just very suspicious that you had a very concrete example, very succinct. Just come flying out of you.
Okay, well, here's another one then. Here's another one, which I don't think they've ever done this, but I use that, and I use one of these other substances so that I fake you into thinking that you were attacked by aliens.
And then the podcast is ruined. Even if you knew then as well, though, would you not be a little bit jealous that I had the full belief in aliens?
Oh, I don't want to. I don't want to meet aliens.
Yeah, you don't want to meet them, but I guess do you want the proof that they're there?
Do you know the Mulder thing? I want to believe.
Yeah.
I don't want to believe, but I can't help it.
So you'd prefer if there wasn't aliens?
Yeah, but I genuinely think there are.
So why don't you want there to be aliens?
Because it scares the living shit out of me.
All right, so you do think that it'll end us, like, if we come across them?
Oh my God, I'm gone.
Where are you going to go, man? There's nowhere to go.
I would say take him.
Take
him.
Do you think that's really going to stop him?
I'd say he's the leader.
Yeah.
I'd run
That's
off.
not going to stop him.
They were mad into that before, weren't they? Aliens.
What?
Always. Oh, take us to your leader.
Why would it bother, like?
Yeah. It's actually very complicated because wait, do you mean? Okay, we're in the UK, so do you mean like the Prime Minister or do you mean the monarch?
But also, like, I mean, just associate us as just being monkeys and, like, you know, humans going up to monkeys and just going, take us to your fucking leader. The monkeys would be like, you can just roll over us in a car.
Yeah, no.
You know?
You're like, oh, okay, well, okay, I'll take you to my team lead.
Yeah.
My line manager inside at work.
They'll be back in an hour just having lunch.
Yeah, eventually you build all the way up and they do get to the actual hierarchy.
But the kind of corporate hierarchy gets to them and they just go, oh, fuck this place, and they leave.
This place is a real buzzkill.
We've got a pool table upstairs.
We've got
You never see your wife, John, but I play table tennis at lunch with my boss.
I don't need a wife. Next one, materials which will render the induction of hypnotism or hypnosis easier or otherwise enhance its usefulness.
Good question for you here. Do you believe in hypnosis?
What do you mean?
I have nothing on this note to catch you up.
Yeah,
This is a general question. Do you believe that hypnosis works?
I believe stage hypnotism doesn't really work.
But if it's in like a clinical setting or, I don't know, an alien spaceship setting, you'd be more willing to believe it.
I'd be in an alien spaceship setting, yeah, 100%, no problem. But in a clinical setting, I would be skeptical of it. But I know people that have used it to quit smoking, and they've said it has worked. Now, have I also seen them smoke on nights out? Yes. But having said that, I think inconclusive for me.
Okay,
inconclusive. Right. What about you?
I don't really know, to be honest. I think it's adjacent to, like, you know, religion.
Tarot.
To who?
Tarot cards.
Tarot cards. No, that's a completely different conversation that I can't get into. And also, why are tarot cards so massive? That actually really bugs me. Because how are you meant to carry them around? You can't fit those in your pocket.
And have you ever played poker with one?
Impossible.
Oh my God, crazy.
Skeleton Hold'em. Stupid game. Think that it might just be a case of giving people the ability to think that it's true. Do you know what I mean? Like giving them ability to think that they do have the power to give up smoking. So it kind of circumvents their like stubbornness, and they don't have to go directly through willpower. Okay,
I get where you're coming from. I will say we've done a brilliant job of breezing through these 16 topics because we're only at number 6. Next one, Denis. Substances which will enhance the ability of individuals to withstand privation, torture, and coercion during interrogation and so-called brainwashing.
I'm a bit worried to ask what privation is. What does that mean?
Again, I'm probably saying it wrong, and I didn't Google it. I said to myself, I recognise enough of those words.
You know, you'd be surprised how many words you don't actually understand. I read books all the time, and I just come across words, and I just say, well, that probably means that, and just move on. It says here, it is privation. I've just checked it out in my headphones, and it says here, a state in which food or other essentials of well-being are lacking. So so like withholding of food and stuff. Yeah, have we lost brain cells in this episode? Fucking gone. We are the thickest people in the world today. We've gotten stupider. If we want to really think about this, maybe we were given substances. Do you think to make us idiots? I was, and the substances that I was given was a pizza and 4 slices of garlic bread. Well, in my case, it was 3 wraps. Overloaded. So I think we're both in big trouble. Next one, Denis.
What is wrong with me? Jesus
Close
Christ.
it down. Close it down.
Oh my God. Next, I thought these would be fun to go through, but these have been-
You know what's really funny? I'm actually enjoying this.
Oh, I know you are. You love this kind of shit.
Yeah, but you're not really enjoying it as much. I don't think.
You watch me sweat.
Why
You don't know how much text is left after this.
Why don't you just read down the rest of them without interruption?
Okay. Materials and physical methods which will produce amnesia for events preceding and during their use. Physical methods of producing shock and confusion over extended periods of time and capable of capable of bad use. Fucking surreptitious.
You put in some amount of words in here that they're just above us.
I shouldn't have done it. It's above my pay grade. Substances which produce physical disablement, such as paralysis of the legs and acute anemia. Substances which will produce pure euphoria with no subsequent letdown. Substances which alter personality structure in such a way the tendency of the recipient to become dependent upon another person is enhanced. Material which will cause mental confusion of such a type the individual under its influence will find it difficult to maintain a fabrication.
These all sound like Pokemon moves.
Yeah. Substances which will lower the ambition and general working efficiency of men when administered in undetectable amounts.
Man, I'm taking loads of that.
Yeah, I'd say so. Substances which promote weakness or distortion of eyesight or hearing faculties, preferably without permanent effects. A knockout pill which can be secretly administered in drinks, food, cigarettes as an aerosol, which will be safe to use provided a maximum of amnesia.
Sorry to interrupt, but you know, I've seen that in movies actually. Usually it's like a woman with a little perfume bottle, a tiny little one, she'll spray it in the drink and then bam.
That's exactly it. So that will provide amnesia. Final one here, a material which can be surreptitiously administered by the above routes, which in a very small amount will make it impossible for a person to perform physical activity. Like a pizza.
A pizza?
Yeah, like a very big pizza.
But they can't realise they're eating it.
It's like it's a mini pizza, and you give the person the mini pizza, and then they go into like a food coma afterwards.
Have you ever wanted to throw a pizza?
Oh yeah.
And have you ever done it?
I never have. And you know me, I'd tell you straight away if I had done it.
No, you'd be delighted if you did.
But no, I've never done that.
I've never done it either. I feel like it should be more widespread.
I've done a lot of things, but I've never done that.
Have you ever thrown spaghetti off a wall?
Yeah, I've done that.
To see if it's cooked?
I've done that. I've done it though. I've done it before I've even put it in the water.
Yeah, it didn't work, no.
No, it didn't.
I did it one time with with my brother, and we had the water still in it, like boiling hot water. R.I.P. my brother.
That can't be our new catchphrase. Who did we? R.I.P. Pat.
R.I.P. Pat. Yeah, poor Pat in the Aran Islands, isn't it?
Actually, just this. I just thought of this today. I got a message from our friend Marty.
Oh yeah,
yeah, and she was listening to the Cura Chase House episode.
Yeah.
She lives down the road from it.
No, she doesn't.
She's from down the road.
Did she give any updated info on it? Like, she ever been around there?
She said that it's full of bats.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you know what? I saw a big bat on television.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, saw a big bat on television, man. It's terrifying.
Was it a flying fox?
No, it was huge.
Huge, yeah.
And it was like it could have been a fruit bat or something. It was terrifying, and it was screaming.
But imagine you go to investigate Cura Chase House.
But why can't we get Marty? Marty can be like a correspondent.
I know. I said that to her. I said that we'll have to get you on to chat.
It'll be an internship, obviously unpaid. But I mean, come on.
Listen, there's no way it's paid. But yeah, I thought that was amazing. Little Cura Chase House tidbit there. You imagine you go to investigate though, and just hundreds of bats come flying out. You would go fuck
and
that.
And you just ring me up and you're like, Marty's dead. Marty's dead.
We're in big trouble, Dennis. So
delete the podcast.
So Dennis, right? The most famous of all these substances used in the program is undoubtedly lysergic acid dithalamide. Are you familiar with that?
LSD.
Bingo.
They gave it to cats.
Did they?
Yeah. I may or may not have. I do not condone this. Do not give LSD to cats. I've seen videos back in the day, you know, when the internet was raw.
Yeah.
Like real raw. You young kids don't understand what we saw back in the day. Like, it was raw and it was mainstream.
It was.
But yeah, I saw a cat on LSD, and it was from those experiments.
Was it having fun? No.
It was having something. It was having a lot of LSD.
It wasn't having the best day of its life. Okay. No. Well, Dennis, this substance, LSD, was believed to be the key to achieving many of the aims of the project, stated before. And at early stages of the project, it was administered to, this is really terrible, administered to mental patients, homeless people, and drug addicts without fully explaining to them what was happening. However, as the project progressed, the experiments became more and more elaborate. One such experiment being something called, I'm not making this up, Operation Midnight Climax.
Okay.
Right?
Is this a sex thing?
Just let me finish. Just let me finish. Operation Midnight Climax, right? Which involved, get this, the CIA setting up secret brothels within agency safe houses and dosing the men who visited them with LSD, then filming their sexual exploits through a two-way mirror in order to study the effects that the drug had on them.
That's very ethical.
Yeah, I know a few people, a few friends of mine would think, geez, that's a brilliant government program. I wish I was involved in that. Yeah.
Yes, for that point of view, yeah.
But the other side of this is, I was expecting it to be this thing where, okay, then they later interrogated the men or something.
Yeah, as if they've been following them or tracking them or something.
Yeah, but it really seemed like they just watched the videos back and took notes.
How did they get permission for that? I mean, obviously the lads who are doing that, it's like, all right, we've done cats. We've tried it on a couple of homeless people. I've got an idea. I'm going to set up my own brothel. I'm going to record everything, and I'm just going to watch prostitutes have sex with men.
Oh, and they're going to have LSD as well.
That too. Yeah, that'll definitely happen as well.
Okay.
Yeah. But I'm going to record all of it, and I'm just going to take all the tapes home.
Okay, yeah, I think we can.
How
get
did they start off on
that?
Just even from like, do you know what's actually fascinating about that though? Is that this is back in when, the 1960s?
Yes, I think that would have been.
Would it be 50s, 60s?
50s, 60s, yeah.
But like, society is a million times more conservative. Not that they weren't doing bad bastard shit the whole time, but just to get someone to sign off on this.
Yeah.
Like, there has to be an older, really conservative dude up the line, right? Assuming he's not a pervert, which he definitely must have been.
Yeah.
Allegedly. But just to sign off on it and just have that explained to him. You know the ways, like, you hear stories about people trying to get, I don't know, like companies to move to videotape or something. Yeah. And they're like, no, and then that network goes bust or something like that. Like, how in the name of God would the young whippersnapper try and come in and convince his superior that this was the idea? Okay,
this is what we should do. Yeah, I think you're dead right that you're picturing the person behind that two-way mirror to be like a real modern day freakazoid.
Yeah.
But actually, they're probably Don Draper.
100%.
And they're like, oh, can't wait to get home to Betsy.
Yeah.
You know, crew cut.
The glasses. You know the glasses.
Well, actually, yeah, forget Don Draper. It's not Don Draper. We're both thinking about Michael Douglas and Falling Down.
100%.
And he sat there and he's like, better get home to Betsy.
Yeah. He's got a big calculator just spewing tape over it.
They seem to really like the LSD. So, similarly, Dennis, right? Another experiment that they used to do is that CIA employees suspected of being dissidents or moles were drugged with LSD.
Sorry, can I have clarification? Moles, or in the figurative sense, or mole people that live under the earth?
In this case, it's both. No. In this case, it's moles, as in like the spy way.
Yes, okay.
So they were drugged with LSD and interrogated under bright lights. I'm sure you've seen like the classic interrogation scene. This is kind of where that is birthed. Get this, it's what you were saying earlier. Their trips on the drug would be extended more and more if they weren't coming forth with details quickly enough. Sidney Gottlieb, who I mentioned earlier, who was running all of this, he wasn't satisfied with these programs because these were carried out under, get this, supposedly carried out under lab conditions.
Okay.
So Operation Midnight Climax, that's lab conditions. as far as Sydney goes, his opinion of it was that's too controlled. So it's not like what it's going to be out in the field. So he said that the experiments needed to be pushed further and they needed to be done in clandestine circumstances to get better results. So this led Gottlieb to begin randomly dosing those working on the project.
No way.
Yeah.
I need to get signed off on that, or did he go mad?
He was sign off, man.
So you could just do it. He just started like tipping it into their bickies and stuff.
Yeah, 100%. And he started gauging their reactions. And as you can imagine, this led to numerous episodes of psychosis, including one where an individual ran screaming into traffic because he started perceiving every human he came across as a monster.
Unbelievable.
Now, he was working on this project, so he probably was right, to be fair.
Would you guess if you were working on it? I'll put it this way, right? And this isn't a joke. I'm only waiting for myself to go crazy.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that's the way I am. I'm just waiting for the day I break. So, like, I think even if I was working on that project, would I have any idea?
Can I be honest with you? I'd say you've missed the day.
It's happened already, is it?
Yeah.
I think we're in the middle of it right now, actually.
I'd say have a look back over the last few years, and you might find a few hints here or there. This is the most famous of all these cases. Is the story of one Frank Olson. Mm-hmm. You might have heard about this story. It is actually, I'll warn you, it is quite sad, I think. So Frank Olson was an army chemist who was working on the MKUltra project, and he expressed his desire to leave the project because he believed it was morally and ethically wrong.
I have a feeling I know where this is going.
Yeah, to drug people out their knowledge. 9 days later, after that, Olson fell to his death from a 13-story window while under the influence of a secretly administered dose of LSD.
And that's confirmed.
Yeah?
Like, as in, they're responsible for that man's murder, basically.
Yeah. 100%,
and
yeah.
did I know who administered it to him?
It was Sidney Gottlieb.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, as in, like, that's... like
Allegedly.
Oh, okay. There
No. So the reason why I said allegedly there is it was 100% done on the project. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if it was exactly him or, you know, maybe.
Okay, so we don't know if he fired the gun or not. Like,
yeah. It's under his remit.
Yeah.
So shockingly, right, you're probably thinking at this point, well, that's probably when they called it quits. No.
Kept on going.
In fact, Dennis.
But what were they getting from this at this point? I can't even track what they're learning from this.
They're just having a mad one, yeah?
Like, this started off as some sort of spycraft or whatever, where they could get the truth out of people, right?
Yeah.
That's what it seemed to be. Then they just saw a guy jump out a window, and they're like, okay, well, like, that can also happen, so...
A bit of mind control as well is what they were... So if you want to get into the proper conspiracy around the Olsen thing, that's spun as an accident. Mm-hmm. You know? As in, like, they administered this to him, and then that was a terrible accident that he fell out the window after being administered to that. So, right, then this did nothing... Oh, sorry, the other side of the conspiracy is that the MKUltra, if you remember, part of its remit is they wanted to basically be able to mind control people and instruct them to do whatever they wanted.
So you're saying, in a way, that what we don't know is this might have been a successful experiment to get this guy to jump out the window.
That's what the conspiracy around that is that people say that he came to Sidney Gottlieb and said, listen, I want to leave. I think this is morally wrong. Gottlieb is thinking this guy's going to whistleblower.
It's going to be a whistleblower,
yeah. So, gives him LSD and tells him jump out the window. And then he goes off and he does it.
Wow.
Now that's highly allegedly.
That is right? Big time allegedly.
That's
Super Bowl allegedly.
That's highly allegedly. That's like top level allegedly. Yeah. But some people allege it.
Can you spell that?
Like I said, you might think at this stage they're quelling. They're like, oh no, we're done. We have to start reining this in. No. In fact, Dennis, the project was only stopped when they eventually concluded that LSD was too unreliable in order to continue using it for interrogations and mind control. So the only reason they stopped doing it is because they thought this actually it's not working the way we want it to.
Yeah, they're not getting the use out of it, but they would have kept on going regardless of what trouble they'd caused already if they could find the purpose for it.
Yeah, completely. And luckily, Dennis, get this, right? This will blow your mind. Luckily, despite Richard Helms, despite his attempts at the beginning, if you remember, to destroy all the evidence based around the MKUltra experiments after Watergate, a cache of 20,000 documents managed to survive because, believe it or not, they were incorrectly stored in a different building.
You gotta love a bit of luck. Love a bit of luck in history.
That guy, whoever fucked up that day, so basically he stored them all with the financial records by mistake. So a bunch of receipts got shredded by
All of that is a person, instead of putting the box on the left hand side of the door, put it on the right hand side of the door, and then a lad came along with a trolley and took it away.
Yeah, that's totally it. And because of that, we have 20,000 documents. This is what I think is insane, right? These were found in 1977 during a Freedom of Information request. And they resulted in a full Senate hearing.
So wait, they were just requesting the financials, though, were they? And they found that other stuff?
No, people were requesting information about MKUltra. Now, this is why the whole Freedom of Information request thing is not as powerful as people think it is. Because if they were destroyed, if those documents were destroyed, you can go, I want a Freedom of Information request after a certain number of years. I want this all entirely based around MKUltra. But if they've destroyed all the documents, they can say, yeah, we've given you everything that
But they don't have to admit that we destroyed all the documents.
Not if they've done it secretly.
Was there any people that actually came forward or even knew that they were they knew that they were, let's say any of the guys in the brothel or even the sex workers or whatever, like, did they even know that they were part of the experiments? Or come forward and say it?
I'd say they were pretty quiet about the whole thing. But there were people coming forward. That's why the request was made, and that's why the Senate hearing was there.
Because it's so bizarre. You wouldn't even know really that you were on the stuff. Like, it would be pretty hard to figure it out, I imagine.
Yeah, and the craziest thing is that 20,000 documents, that's like a drop in the ocean compared to what they destroyed.
Yeah.
Because like you said, that's only like one box. So we don't even know half the stuff that was destroyed. So despite the victims of the project receiving some form of justice ultimately after the Senate hearing, including Olson's family, who received a personal apology. Frank Olson, the guy who jumped out the window, his family received a personal apology from, at the time, President Gerald Ford and the then CIA director, William Colby.
So the two of them, the president basically came along and said, yes, this guy was given LSD without his knowledge, and it resulted in his death. And it was part of the experiments that were undertaken by the CIA.
And the head of the CIA said the same thing.
Whoa.
And they paid the family in an out-of-court settlement because they didn't want to go through the courts.
You might be talking about this in a minute, right? But there's something in my head saying that they also went to poor countries and did stuff.
That is true. I'll just finish by saying the full extent of Project MKUltra remains to this day unexplained.
Can we get a recap on the big players in that thing, so we just have it all together?
Okay, yeah.
So we started off with the first guy, and he destroyed, tens of thousands of documents, right, after the Watergate scandal. And who was that?
That was, I should know that off the top of my head, that was Director Richard Helms.
Okay, so
CIA
Richard Helms at the time.
In 1973, yeah.
1973. He didn't have anything to do with the experiments, so did he? He
would have been, I'd have to double check when he took over, but it was happening under his...
Oh, it was happening under his watch. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Grant, sorry. Okay, yeah, this is why I want to do a little recap.
Yeah, yeah.
And then we have the real bad bastard. What's his name?
Sidney Gottlieb.
Yeah, he is the guy really driving all the crazy stuff that they're doing.
Yeah, so basically you have the first CIA director, Alan Dulles, right? The first one in the timeline. In the 1950s, he's saying, yeah, we need to get into this.
And they bring over the Nazis in Operation Paperclip.
Yeah, basically they brought over. They're telling Alan Dulles all the projects that these lads have been up to before.
Yeah.
He sees that and he goes, mind control, stuff like that. Yeah, give that a green light. Yeah. So then Sidney Gottlieb, he gets brought on to go, here, you look after that. Sidney Gottlieb is doing it for 20 years.
Goes insane.
Yeah, and then during that time, the CIA director changes to Richard Helms.
And he comes in, he oversees it, then Watergate breaks, he goes, oh my God, need to get rid of this stuff.
Yeah.
Take all these boxes, definitely over there, and then one intern comes over allegedly and takes a box of financials. Then there's a Freedom of Information Act where people are coming forward thinking that they're probably part of the experiments, I guess.
Yeah, requesting information.
Then there's a huge Senate hearing. And then they do actually get justice for that guy that jumped out the window. Well, as much justice as you can get.
Yeah. Yep, that's pretty much it.
That's insane.
Yeah.
When was Ford around? Was he the early 80s?
He came in immediately after Nixon.
All right, so at the end of the 70s, is it?
So he was vice president, came in when Nixon was impeached, immediately pardoned Nixon.
It just, I know, but that is the way you do it.
Yeah, yeah.
But isn't that amazing though that it happened so quickly that he came out and said, "Oh yeah, no, we did all that."
No,
what do you think of all that?
This will probably infuriate you, but this is old hat to me.
Old hat.
Yeah.
Old tinfoil hat.
This doesn't move the dial at all.
But you don't like stuff that's proven. That's not your cup of tea, like.
Well, this is the thing that really gets my engine going on this. Because a lot of the stuff is just stuff where I just think, yeah, like I knew they were doing that. Like you were saying that they did it on those cats as well. Mm-hmm. All right, those poor cats. Not only did they do it on cats, Dennis, they supposedly were doing it in illegal internment sites all over the world.
In South America and stuff.
Not only that, supposedly in Germany, supposedly in Japan, they did it. They even crossed the border and supposedly did it illegally in Canada.
Wow.
They were administering it to people in Canada. So they were like going all over the place here. And the thing that really, though, like I said, that really gets my mind racing is the fact that out of all the stuff they did, we only have 20,000 documents. Like we have one accidental bunch of documents sent to the wrong location. So imagine what else they had there.
How easy is it to administer the drug? Like, can they just put it on their skin and it'll absorb it? You know, like the those spies from that certain country might do.
I'd say it would be easiest to put it in a Tic Tac and go
shake them.
Yeah, go. Would you like a Tic Tac?
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to get them to eat the entire box of Tic Tacs, though, which would be really hard.
No, you wouldn't.
Why?
I'm saying just put it in. Have a whole box of Tic Tacs.
Yeah,
they're all.
Oh, they're all then.
They're all acid.
But what if they go, here, you have a Tic Tac for yourself?
And I go,
I stare at you.
I go, I fucking will. And then I have like 20 of them. I start necking them down. Yeah.
Yeah. First of all, do they sell Tic Tacs anymore?
Yeah, they must do.
When was the last time you bought a box of Tic Tacs?
Oh my god!
Millions of years ago.
No, they must have.
I know. And also, next question.
Yeah.
What was the point in those stupid red and green ones?
They're
orange
nice.
And green ones?
They're nice.
No, man, there were nothing on the white ones.
Oh, they're nothing on the white ones.
Consistently the white ones.
I think that the main goal of them is that if you got a packet, 2 packets of them and 1 packet of white ones, you could make a serviceable Irish flag if you poured them all out on a table.
That's true. And half of them are dosed with LSD as well.
Yeah. So, Dennis, I think really the big question before we end out for the episode is really how far do we think the US government took this? Like, do you think that they disgraced people?
Do you know what I'm going to say?
Go on.
I bet you they put it in water systems.
Oh, just like to go to whole streets.
I'd say they put it in water systems. I'd say they put it in school lunches. I'd say if there's no way if they did all that shit that they didn't do it at some point to some kids.
Oh yeah, I agree with you.
They did it to cats.
Yeah.
I know it's not mentioned in your report, but I did see it on a video on E-Bombs World.
Here's the E-Bombs World. I haven't heard of that in 100 years. Here's one thing for you though, right? 1950s, 1960s, 1970s, lads walking down the street being given acid for free the whole time, and yet people from that generation have the gall to say it's better now. Ridiculous. Free acid, bring back state acid. Yeah.
Alright, that does for this week on Unexplained Legends. I've been Denis Len. You can get me at DenisLen3D on Twitter, Instagram, and anywhere else that I have an account. And over there is
Roger O'Sullivan, and you can find me at Roger O'Comedy on Instagram or at Roger O'Sullivan on Twitter.
We're 2 sleepy boys that have taken a load of LSD over the last 4 days.
Oh, we haven't.
That has
been
secretly administered to me throughout the last 2 weeks as a fun joke. But if you want to make us not sleepy, you can rate us on Spotify, also over on Apple Podcasts. We're only about 23 ratings on Spotify away from 100, which is my life goal.
Okay.
So I really want people to 5-star us there. It creeps up every episode, so we'd love if you do that. Also, just want to say hello to all the new listeners. There are so many new listeners in the last couple of weeks, and it's brilliant to have you on board.
Yeah, on the back of that, all I say is love you, bye. To go after him.
Did he get bigger and 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 bigger as he rolled down the hill?